So it's the first quarter-final in the FA Cup. I thought this competition had been put to bed, but apparently not. First match on Saturday and the other three ties are being played on Sunday. So the opening gambit, Norwich at home to Man United. Solskjaer's team, well, he has rotated the side. Most of the stars from the win against Sheffield United were on the bench. Martial, Rashford, Pogba. But I did see Fernandes in the starting lineup, Romario in goal, and Lingard up front. Early 20 minutes, United dominating position, but nothing particularly untoward, although Lingard did look quite dangerous. Then on 27 minutes, Mata loses the ball near the halfway line. Quick break by Norwich. McLean runs hard towards the box, but his shot was high and wide. Should have done better. 43 minutes, again United's defence under pressure. Number of block shots, frantic clearances, but they managed to get through to the break goalless. Things changed early on in the second half though. 50 minutes. An audacious finish by Aguero, following a cross from the left from Shaw. Mata got a touch, went to Agualo, and he adjusted his feet beautifully to prod it into the net. Past Krul, that was 1-0. 69 minutes, free kick on the left, Wendera, curve cross, got a deflection, and Godfrey, it hit him on the back. It wouldn't have gone in, but it looked initially like he'd missed a city, but he hadn't. His positioning was just slightly off. But a warning to United. 76 minutes, Norwich got their rewards. A beautiful strike from Cantwell from outside the box, hits the bottom right-hand corner. Romero had no chance, so we were level at 1-1. Latter part of normal time. Greenwood on 79, his effort just went wide. Then Buendia again shot wide on 87, and then Agualo was brought down. It was the second infringement, but this one he looked like he was heading into the box, and the Norwich defender got a red card. I can't remember his name, but he was off. So they were down to 10. However, 96 minutes, couple of half chances for the Reds, Pogba and Greenwood to avoid extra time, but it went to the extra time. 1-1 on 90 minutes. Well, extra time was a completely dominant United, pummeling the Norwich defence. A couple of shots from distance early on in the first period. Rashford and then Pogba, both saved by Krul. He was having a great game. 21 minutes for Fernandes. Cross found Maguire's head. A great save by Krul this time. But then on 3 minutes from the end of extra time, pressure finally told. And this followed some great ball into the box by Pogba. He eventually came to Maguire, who got a touch, stabbed it in. That was 2-1. That was game over. And that was Man U into the semi-finals. Not a particularly great game. United's performance wasn't that impressive either, but they did dominate the match. And they're into the semi-finals. So final score at Carrow Road, Norwich 1, Manchester United 2. So Saturday's FA Cup matches, and of course it's not Saturdays, it's Sundays, but I'll get it right in a minute. Sheffield United at home to Arsenal. Still strange witnessing these games in empty stadiums. And there was a fair amount of rotation, but I won't go through them. Notable though that Arsenal had their top striker, Aubameyang, on the bench. 7 minutes, McGoldrick gets a shot away about 10 yards out, but it was deflected away for a corner. And this sort of really laid the foundations of an afternoon of frustration for the Blades. Then there was a corner, two in a row in fact, and the second one to the far post. Egan got his head to it, and Lundström from 2 yards headed in for 1-0. However, VAR had a look at it and he was offside, so goalless. 12 minutes, a challenge by McBurney and Mustafi following a long throw, but it came to McGoldrick, but he couldn't get a touch. Well, it was a half a chance really. Then 22 minutes, an innocuous through ball really to the penalty box. Arsenal on the attack, and Lacazette got bowled over by Basham, and the referee decided to award a penalty. It looked initially harsh, but on a check, he clearly was taken out by Basham. Back to goal for Lacazette, so really a stupid error really, but Pepe stepped up and converted. Lacazette had to leave the field for a few minutes. 1-0 Gunners then, 28 minutes. Some good link-up play involving Lacazette and Pepe again, but this time Henderson managed to save comfortably. And then 42 minutes, Niles, a real burst of pace down the right, centred. The goalkeeper managed to clear and the chance went away. A couple of minutes later, a nice strike by Morwood from distance, but Martinez, still deputising for Leno, was pretty safe with that save. And a minute before the break, Tierney on the left laid it back to Pepe, whose shot was just inches wide. So at the break, 1-0 to the Gunners. Into the second half, long throws were becoming frequent for the Blades, and McBurney got a flick onto one, but again Martinez's handling was solid. 55 minutes, Louise had to hobble off, clearly a hamstring problem, so he was replaced by Holding. He'd only just come back from that red card. A couple of minutes later, a sort of another offside decision after a free kick. Goal scorer Egan, but again it didn't count. So that was two gone by the wayside for Sheffield United. A couple of minutes later, a great cross from the left, and this time Basham heads wide, and it was a poor miss really. Lots of substitutes on 66, but still 1-0, and Sheffield United really failing to create any gilt-edged chances. But eventually on 86 minutes they had their rewards. McGoldrick poaching after a dreadful error in defence by Holding, who missed a cross, and Kalajnic kicked the ball and it hit Holding and it fell to McGoldrick, who swatted it home. So it was level 1-1. But just as Sheffield United were looking at possibly extra time, they did have a chance from Sharp, but his drive went behind. But then on the response to that, the ball was pushed down the other end. Arsenal attacking in numbers, and Pepe, Nketiah both got involved, and eventually the ball fell for Danny Sabilas inside the box, and he hit a nice strike wide of the keeper, and so Arsenal had snatched back the lead by 2-1. That's how it finished. Arsenal into the semi-finals. They, of course, are the team that have won this trophy more than any other, and they're looking good. Good day for Arteta, a lot of frustration for Wildy. Final score then, Sheffield United 1, Arsenal 2. Second of the Sunday matches was at the King Power Stadium. Leicester at home to Chelsea. Of course, in terms of league form, Leicester are third, Chelsea fourth. First 15 minutes, not a lot happening. A half chance at each end, but tame headers by the strikers. And then Tielemans had a shot on 19, which did force a save from Caballo, who was in for Kepa. He usually plays the FA Cup game, so no surprise there. 28 minutes, Chilwell, free kick on the left. Heavens found himself in space. He made a great run, but his header was woefully wide. And then a sweeping through from the left by Chelsea, and a Pulisic strike forced a swift tip over from Schmeichel. 44 minutes, a ball over the top. Vardy outpacing the defence, got ahead of them, but his effort went tamely wide. It was a pretty poor effort. And so that was it for the first half, goalless. Into the second half, Abraham slots home an effort, but he was ruled offside, although it was a clinical finish. But then on 63 minutes, finally a breakthrough. Barkley finishing off a great cross from William, and his volley went through Schmeichel, 1-0, and just about deserved, really. Leicester in attack, well, they haven't scored since the restart, since the second game of the restart. So they're looking a bit toothless up front, and any effort that they had was easy for Caballero. There was a chance for Soyutsu at the back post late on, but he headed over. But the goalkeeper was struggling. And then on 88 minutes, another opportunity for Barkley, but this time Schmeichel blocked it. So that was about it. Full time at King's Power. Leicester 0, Chelsea 1. So the final quarter-final at St James's Park, deserted St James's Park, was Newcastle at home to Manchester City. For the first 18 minutes, there was only one team in possession of the ball, and no prizes for guessing who that was. Mahrez, Silva and others featuring regularly, and Darlow in goal for Dubrovka was being kept very busy, as was the Newcastle defence. On 23 minutes, he did deny a good chance to Sterling, and again on 25 minutes, the same man with a much better effort, but the goalie good enough. And then 35 minutes, it sort of came as a little bit of a disappointment, really, but there was an infringement in the box on Jesus. The referee awarded a penalty. De Bruyne stepped up, slotted it home, 1-0 to City. Just before the break, there was a rare effort for Newcastle from Sean Longstaff, but it was well wide. 1-0 at the break then. 52 minutes, Mahrez, who had a good game, really. This was his best effort, just inches over from distance. And then an error by Otamendi let in St Maximus, and he put in a forceful cross which found Gale on the 6-yard line, but Gale somehow managed to connect and whip it over. It was a very big opportunity, and it was the last one that Newcastle saw. Sterling converted 2 minutes after that, and that made it 2-0. A great crossfield pass from Laporta set up Foden, who then assisted to Sterling. So after that 2-0, it was a tough task for Newcastle. They never really looked like they were going to get anywhere near it, and Man City, the holders, ran out easy winners by 2-0. Right, so having had those fixtures, the semi-final draw was made, and I'm just trying to recall it. Arsenal are going to be at home to Manchester City, and Chelsea are going to play Manchester United. I think that's how I read it. I'm going to get this video out to you now, but we'll continue with Premier League stuff, which will continue, I believe, with the first match tomorrow. So that's it. That's your lot.